Melburnians have spent their last night under curfew as Victoria winds back coronavirus restrictions with the promise of a fast track to the next stage of easing if case numbers remain low. From this morning, childcare centres will be open to all, not just the kids of essential workers. And in further good news for parents, all primary students will return to schools from October the 12th, with many senior high school students back in the classroom as well.
Almost 130,000 more people will be heading back to work this morning, with more employees in food processing, logistics and construction allowed back on the job. But while some restrictions on movement, work and education have eased, there's also a new fine of almost $5,000 for unlawful gatherings. Let's get more on the reaction to the winding back of these restrictions. Reporter Steph Ferrier joins us now from Melbourne. Steph, good morning to you. What are the key takeaways from the Premier's announcement?
A very good morning to you, Georgie. Well, it might be quiet here at South Melbourne Primary School at the moment during school holidays, but it's going to be a hive of activity from week 2 of term 4, or October the 12th, when thousands of primary school students will return to face-to-face learning after a very long hiatus. And this also means that health authorities are saying that it's now safe for grades 3 to 6 to join the preps to 2s who are already coming back. The Year 12s and senior students doing VCE and VCAL will return a week earlier for assessments, but the future date for a return is still up in the air for the other secondary students. Now, we've just gone past 1 hour ago the end of our final curfew, so there might be a little bit of shopping at supermarkets later in the evening on the cards for some. Supermarkets is among one of those areas returning to full capacity with warehousing staff, because there'll be now another 127,000 workers who will be allowed to return to the workplace in industries, as you mentioned, including construction, manufacturing, abattoirs, and also sole traders in outdoor areas like gardening. Now, childcare is also going to return as well for all, and we can have public gatherings, outdoor gatherings of up to 5 people from 2 different households. That'll be the same number limit for religious gatherings, but face masks are still going to be required. And there'll also be no more face shields or bandanas or scarves allowed after a certain grace period.
And Steph, the Premier has moved to bring the roadmap timeline forward, but it's not quick enough for some people.
Yes, well, now that we've hit that magical 14-day mark, as low as 22.1 now for our rolling new case average, that means that health authorities are saying that we're going to hit that key threshold to be able to open up a lot more of under 5 cases a week early by around October the 19th, but they are doing away with dates. However, we still are in lockdown here in Melbourne, with those 5-kilometre restrictions from home still in force, as well as anybody who decides to invite visitors over, even in their front yard, or engage in illegal gatherings, well, they'll now face a fine of nearly $5,000. The nation's Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, says that this latest easing is a small but important step forward. But he says, as many epidemiologists have encouraged, we'd support Victoria in reviewing the trigger of 5 and 0 cases with regards to the third and last steps. As it stands, this lockdown is already longer than that faced by residents in many cities around the world. And he notes that he remains deeply concerned about the mental health impacts on Melbourne residents.
Steph Ferrier, thank you very much.